Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Go Green Kitchen.
Today we're going to be making French toast, but with a twist.
The three of us are going to show you how easy it is to make delicious vegan French toast recipes in 3 completely different ways. Let's get started.
My name's Collin, and I'm going to be showing you how to make aquafabulous vegan French toast. So today we're making what I like to call aquafabulous French toast, because the main ingredient substituting eggs is aquafaba, a liquid that comes out of canned chickpeas or the leftover liquid after you boil chickpeas. Now, though it has a similar chemical composition to chickpeas, it's really low in calories. Now, we're going to remove the chickpeas, of course, and use about 1 can of this aquafaba. This will make about 6 pieces of French toast. Now, we're going to beat this for a very, very long time, and it's going to become similar to an egg white meringue. Ta-da! Beautiful stiff peaks. Well worth the wait. Now, to mimic an egg's naturally savory flavor, we're going to throw in about 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. It's super high in vitamins and minerals and all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. Next up is 1/4 cup of oat milk, or any plant-based milk really, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. For some vanilla flavor, throw in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and giving this all a nice mix-up. All the ingredients will spread out super evenly, and your creamy meringue will turn a little more loose and a little more workable as batter. Next up is slicing up some bread. We are using a vegan French bread. This is from Costco, and it is a few days old, so it's gotten a little stale, which is actually perfect for French toast. Now we're going to add some coconut oil to my pan, just a teaspoon or so. And we begin dipping our bread into our delicious batter. Flipping that with some chopsticks, very cool, very nice. Letting the drip off the excess, and adding it to the pan. Repeat this process for literally all the slices that you have. This made about 6 slices, like I said earlier. Flip it when it starts to smoke a little bit. You'll know the other side is a little golden brown, dark brown. And we're going to plate this up. After this, in the meantime, we are going to make our maple cinnamon glaze because I wanted to be extra fancy. So, to make our bougie glaze, we're going to need 1/2 cup of powdered sugar and about a tablespoon of vegan butter. Slide that in there. I'm going to get that a nice mix up off screen. And now we're adding 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, hence the maple of maple cinnamon glaze. And now the cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're mixing that up really well. Now, if you're mixing it by hand, like me, it's going to get a little difficult to mix, a little less, not very graceful. So we're going to throw in 1 tablespoon of oat milk very slowly, like 1 teaspoon at a time. And you should get a delicious glaze. Finally, we plated it up. It is beautiful, gorgeous. 4 of them I added only powdered sugar, 2 I added my maple glaze, and now I'm trying it. And as you can see by my expression, this is definitely A-grade stuff. And now I'll hand it off to Anusha to show us her version of vegan French toast.
So this recipe of the French toast is not going to really focus on an egg substitute as much as the last one did. In fact, it's not even going to have an egg substitute, but it doesn't have any dairy. So for this recipe, all the inspiration links will be in the description below. The ingredients are just 6 to 7-ish simple ingredients. So start off, you need the flour, and I'm using wheat flour instead of all-purpose flour just because it's slightly healthier. And also you need a plant-based milk, and I'm using almond milk since I had it laying around the house. And you can also use any kind of sweetener you want. I'm using brown sugar, and you need a pinch of salt. Also, you need like some oil or butter just to put on the pan while you're frying your French toast. You can use vegan butter, you can use any kind of oil. I'm using coconut oil just because, it's a little healthier and it should give you a little extra flavor when you're eating it.
Let's take a step back and look at how coconut oil is sustainable. Coconuts actually use no pesticides or herbicides when they are being harvested. And in fact, they're completely harvested by hand rather than using a big tractor, and hence coconut oil is really sustainable. Now let's get back to the other ingredients.
And lastly, some ground cinnamon for extra flavor.
So we're going to start off by adding our flour. You want to add 3 tablespoons of any flour of your choice. I'm using wheat flour. 1 cup of milk. I'm using almond milk. and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Next, you want to mix it all up, and I'm going to transfer all my batter into a different bowl so I can dip the bread in.
Now that our batter is ready, the next step we have to do is take some bread and dip it in here and go fry it on our pan. So I'm going to be using whole wheat bread for this step, and I'm also going to be using coconut oil, like I mentioned before, to cook it on the pan.
So you just want to take your piece of bread and you want to entirely submerge it in your batter, and then you want to add that on your pan. Make sure you add the coconut oil so your French toast will cook properly. And lastly, you can top it off with any kind of topping you enjoy. I used some strawberries and blueberry jam, and this is how the final product looked. Now that we're all done with our flour-based vegan French toast, let's go ahead and give it a taste test. It's really good. You can taste the cinnamon, you can taste the coconut oil, all the flavors come through at the end. It's definitely a little bit different from the traditional egg-based French toast, which is the point. I'd say it's a little bit on the sweet end, which is good because we did add that brown sugar, that extra sweetener. And I'd overall say that this was a really good recipe. It's super easy to do, just 7 basic ingredients, and it's really healthy and nutritious. Now on to Amy to show us how she made her vegan French toast.
Hello everybody, this is the Go Green Kitchen, and today we're going to be making some French toast without eggs and without any dairy milk. So what I'm going to be using includes 2 slices of brioche bread, splash of almond milk, have some cornstarch. This is going to be super important because we're replacing the eggs. We're going to need some more cinnamon, classic. Toppings can be whatever you want. It could be some just natural fruits from the fridge or some frozen fruits from the freezer. In addition, you can add some chocolate paste or peanut butter, anything you like, or honey. It would be more sweet but super nice. Okay, so what we're going to do first is just to spoon out some cornstarch and mix it together with the almond milk. This much would be enough. I'm not sure. Let's try. Mix in the cornstarch with the almond milk. This is to make it thicker. So then when you make the French toast, it becomes crispy on the outside. Can you feel it getting thicker? I think I'm going to add a little bit more of that cornstarch. Now, I also think it's a good idea to cut your bread at least in half so that it's easier to dip and soak in all of that goodness. And you also may want to use some bread that has been laying out on the pantry for quite a few days so that it's drier and it can more easily soak up the liquid. Okay, so before you do this, I suggest you heat up the pan. Here's my pan. Just going to get some flames going. And also turn on the kitchen ventilator. So we could do that. Now let's add some oil to the pan. This is sapphire oil. And swirl it inside the pan. I have it on lower heat so that now I can focus on making the bread. Now we just want to put the bread inside the liquid and swirl it around, kind of like that. And I would take it out and leave it there and soak the next one. And the pan is pretty much ready. So hard to get. Oh, I got it. There you go. And there's still lots of liquid left. What if I just pour it on? Oh yeah, we forgot about the cinnamon. Let's get some cinnamon like that. I suggest you do it before you put this in the pan but I think it works just the same. Make sure it's on low heat, so you have time to check how well your French toast is doing. It might be sticking a little bit to the pan if it was too moist, but that's okay. Now it's probably been 2 minutes, and I'm just going to flip this over to see how it's doing on the inside. Don't worry if it's sticking a little bit to the pan, because that happens. See? It's so golden and crispy that I'm not a super good cook. Definitely not. But looks good. And probably leave it here for 1 or 2 more minutes. Take everything out of the pan. Ta-da!
To try it yourself, make sure to check the description box below to the links to all our recipes and sources.
Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, check out our other videos, and yeah, see you guys later.